Hello and welcome. My name is Amanda and this is my channel, Her Pacific Northwest Washington Life. And today we are kicking off the week 42 reading vlog. So we're kicking it off by chatting about a book that I finished. My friend Eric at the channel Break Even Books and I were reading The Turn of the Key by Ruth Ware. And we didn't have a set schedule for what chapters or how many pages we were reading per day. We just started last week and we're kind of updating each other throughout. This one was a little tricky to buddy read just because he has the mass market paperback and I have the regular paperback, so I think our copies were off by 25-ish pages. And this book doesn't have any chapter numbers or titles, so you can't really say, oh, I stopped on chapter 28 or I stopped on Rowan goes to the Highlands or whatever. So we kind of had to be very vague in our updates, like, oh, they turned down watching Frozen, or oh, such and such just got home from school, to kind of tell each other what part of the story we were at without spoiling anything important. But I ended up picking up the audiobook on Scribd because I was getting a little scared of reading this at night, so I needed to be able to read it during the day, so the audiobook was the way I had to go about that. And I ended up finishing it today, just because I had the time. So I'm giving it a 4-star rating. I thought it was going one way, and then with what they were kind of red herring us towards, I kept thinking, like, the entire time, I was like, there's no way it's gonna be this, there's no way it's gonna be this, and it wasn't. But I still didn't really see where it was going 100% until we kind of got there. But I thought that the atmosphere was just very chilling, very spooky. I mean, I couldn't read it in bed at night because most of the, like, spooky things happened when Rowan was woken up, like, suddenly from sleep in the middle of the night. I'm so sorry, my dogs are attacking each other right by me on the couch. So yeah, I really liked the atmosphere of it. I thought the characters were really interesting. The plot was interesting as well. I can't really say I enjoyed it because, like, I don't enjoy being scared, but I was really intrigued to find out what was happening next. So overall, 4-star rating. I really liked it. It's the first Ruth Ware book I've ever read. I do own The Death of Mrs. Westaway, so I don't know if I'm going to get to that this October, but I might try to. So then I was planning to pick up The Witches by Roald Dahl next, but I looked at what books I had planned to read for September, October, and November, and saw Well Met, which was gifted to me by Eric. And I thought that this would be a nice change of pace, going from an adult mystery, I think that's what it is, to an adult rom-com would be nice. And I think I should be able to fly through this pretty quickly. So I don't have an audiobook picked out, but I will get that sorted tomorrow. Right now we're just gonna hang out and turn on some X-Files and snuggle the dogs. So once I get into more books tomorrow and figure out what I'm gonna listen to on audiobook, I will check in and let you know. Alright, something I don't do very often anymore, actually at all anymore, is film with lights on and in front of my bookshelves. But today, or this clip, is going to be a very special one because my friend Eric at the channel Break Even Books recently lost his furry family friend, Max. After 16 years, he passed away at the beginning of last week, and one of Eric's big goals for this year was to create an original book tag. So he created a book tag with his dog Max in mind, and I am going to do it. I was originally going to film a separate video for this and post it, but I really don't have the time in my life to do that right now. So I figured the best thing I could do was put in a clip of me doing the book tag into the beginning of my video. At some point my dogs might walkthrough here. I'm hoping that'll be the case so you can see them, since this is a book tag about your best furry friend, whether it be a dog, a cat, maybe not furry, it could be a lizard or a bird, or it could be your pet fish, what have you. But at some point maybe they'll make an appearance. Usually when I turn on the camera they get really excited and start walking around, and I'm sure you can hear them pacing all the time, so if they don't make an appearance, at the end of this clip I'll tell you a little bit more about my dogs in case you don't know about them already, and insert pictures, or maybe do a clip after this, who knows. But the first question for Eric's tag is, I've got a bone to pick with you. Name a book that was good until it wasn't. So you were enjoying it and then it ended up disappointing you. So for this one, I'm not going with a book, I'm going with a book series, and that is the Girl with the Dragon Tattoo series by Steve Larson. I love the original trilogy of this so much, but after Steve passed away, and I think David Langerkrans is the guy who's continuing the series, started writing it. I only read, what is it? The girl who kicked the, no, the girl who, something with spiders, like played with spiders or something like that. I just felt like, what was her name? Lisbeth? I think that's her name. Her character changed so much, and it really wasn't the same story anymore. So I definitely am not continuing on with any of the books that the new author is writing, just because I don't think they really do this original trilogy and the characters very much justice. So that's that. The next question is Welcome Home, and this is name a book or series that gives you the warm feelings of home. For this, I am going with The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe by C.S. Lewis, because this is a book series that I was introduced to. I can't remember if it was 3rd or 4th grade because I had the same teacher both those years, but it was my 3rd and 4th grade teacher who introduced us to the Chronicles of Narnia, and it's specifically this book that really reminds me of home, just because of reading it in my childhood and the world that C.S. Lewis built, and it's always something that's stuck in my mind throughout the years, and it's just, this is a very homey feeling book to me. The next question is Roughin' It, and this is name a book that has a journey or travel element to it, and I figured that the best book would be Outlander by Diana Gabaldon, because it has time travel and many journeys across the Scottish Highlands and through England and France and over the seas and into America. So lots of journeying going on here, lots of time travel going on here, lots of shenanigans people get up to, but a lot of fun if you can kind of get past some of Claire's more eye-roll worthy moments. I think this is a really fun series. And apparently not complete because she's got another one coming out. Question number 4 is Mark Your Territory, or prompt number 4, and this is name a book or series that you will always stand by no matter what. I know this is gonna make some people unhappy, but honestly, I am forever going to stand by the Harry Potter series, specifically Goblet of Fire as being the best book in the entire series, just because this is a series that meant so much to me growing up, waiting for each new book to be released, just falling back into the world and how magical it was. For those of you that don't know, my wedding is going to be Harry Potter themed. I am currently, it ends today, having a Color Street Facebook party for my neighbor, and it's Harry Potter themed. So this is a series that no matter what happens, I'm just going to stand by it because I think the series itself is so magical and so well written. It's so in-depth and just developed, and I think it's a really great series. The next prompt is Digging Holes, and this is a book that had some hidden secrets or had a big plot twist uncovered. So I'm going to be completely honest. I'm going with A Sudden Light by Garth Stein, and I don't remember what the plot twist was exactly. I just know there was one. I know this deals with ghosts and family secrets and things like that, But I really wanted to highlight this because Garth Stein is a local to me author, and this book does take place in Western Washington. I think, if I remember correctly, near like a logging town or something like that. So there were definitely some twists and turns and plot twists and things being uncovered with this that I just don't 100% remember, but I remember really enjoying it as I was reading it. So the next prompt is Stand By Me, and this is to name a book or series that portrayed a very loyal friendship between its characters. And this series, the entire series does, but I am specifically calling out Samwise Gamgee of the Shire, because I don't think you can get a more loyal friend than Sam was to Frodo and the Fellowship and everything like that. So specifically I've got here The Return of the King, because I think Sam's just loyalty really shone through so much for the end of the Fellowship and the mission and getting back to the Shire and everything like that. Sam is the best friend ever. I'm sorry, dogs, but he is. You can probably hear them. They're fighting on the couch right now. Just being crazy dogs. Tug of War is the next prompt, and this is a book you have very mixed feelings about. And for me, that is The Essex Serpent by Sarah Perry. And the reason I have mixed feelings about this book is that I really did not like the main character. I thought she was very unlikable and just mean, and I don't like characters like that who are just mean for the sake of being mean, or because that's how they grew up and, you know, they had a rough time, and instead of just being nice, they just want to continue holding on to that anger. But the reason I have conflicting feelings about this is I didn't really care for the plot either. I really just don't like this book, but my friend Bailey gave it to me. We were going to attempt to do a blind date with a book for every month of last year, and we only ever got around to January. So I wanted to like this book because she thought I would like it, and also the cover is really gorgeous, but I just don't like the content. But maybe if I know that going into it for like a reread, it might be okay. I'm not 100% sure. We'll see. If I'm going to hang on to it for a little bit, and if at any point, maybe in the next year or two, I want to give it a reread, I will, but I'm not holding my breath on it, to be honest. And the last prompt is Treats, and this is a book that you are super excited about and will reward yourself by reading it. And for that, that's actually my current read, which is Well Met by Jen DeLuca, which was actually gifted to me by Eric for my birthday this past year. And I'm just really excited to read this because of the reviews and hype that it got, and I just think it sounds really cute. I would really like to go to a Ren Fair. I've never been to one, and this one takes place at a local Ren Fair where the main character is volunteering for her niece's school. So those are all the questions. The last thing is just to tag people, and I don't normally tag people when I do tags, but to help Eric get this out a little more, there are 4 people that I thought of. 3 that I know for sure have dogs and really love their dogs, and 1 person who I know does tags and really likes dogs. So I'm tagging Danny at the channel Spinelli Speaks, Victoria at A Musical Bookworm, Tara at Buzzword Books, and my very good reading friend Rainy at Raining Day Reads. So I will let all 4 of them know. But the last thing that Eric wanted us to do was kind of share a little bit about our dogs. I do have a video for both of my dogs' adoption stories. So for those of you that don't know, I did rescue Ronan and Aoife from a adoption, what is that called? Rescue, that's the word, that is based out of San Antonio, Texas. And they have actually converted those like Sprinter vans and horse trailers to transport dogs out of Texas up to the Pacific Northwest and also like the East Coast. So I know they make stops in Washington and Oregon, and I don't know exactly where else they go just because my focus is obviously for dogs up in Washington. And knowing that Texas itself has a really, really like bad case of abandoned dogs, street dogs, things like that. The shelters there are high kill shelters. I really wanted to adopt outside of Washington State. That way I knew that I was going to be able to help some dogs. So I'm going to leave both of their adoption stories linked down below, but just to tell you a little bit more about their personalities and like not weigh this down or anything. Come here, Ronan. My first dog, hey, get over here. Come here. My first dog that I adopted by myself is Ronan. Sit. He is my dog. He is Velcroed to me. He's my favorite dog. Don't tell Aoife who's coming. His ear and face is going to be in the way. I'm not going to move him. But he is an American Staffordshire Terrier mixed with a Chow. Some of his favorite things are the D word, which is D-I-N-N-E-R, and the W word, which is W-A-L-K. His funniest personality trait, I think, is that he will get really excited when people come over, or when Sky or I get home, when I come out of my office after working through the day, and he will pick up a toy, any toy, the closest toy, and just start walking circles and pacing around the house with it in his mouth. It's annoying at times, but it's also very, very endearing. And he just cracks me up. He also is incredibly soft because he's got that long fur of a Chow, but it's also short like a Staffy, but it's a weird mix, and he's just really, really soft and sheds so much. And he's 5 years old. He's my old man. If I think about that too much, I will start to cry, because then I think like, oh, he's only got, you know, this amount of years left with us, and it makes me really sad. So we're not going to talk about that, but he's my man, my main squeeze. I love this boy to death. And then the other pup who is getting covered up is Aoife. Her adoption anniversary is actually this month, and I'm sorry I'm so out of focus. So we'll try and make this quick. But she has been with us for almost 2 years now. She is 2 years old. She's a Staffy blue heeler, or Australian cattle dog. And Wild Canid came back on her DNA test, so I'm almost positive that she is actually Coyote. But she was a street dog that was found in San Antonio. She loves to not listen, and to snuggle, and to bark at anybody carrying packages up and down the street and to our door, which is why they're going crazy right now. So I'm going to go ahead and end this now, because they're about to make a heck of a lot of noise. I apologize for the barking at the end of that last clip. I'm sure that was not pleasant for a lot of people to listen to. If I cut any of it out, or this is just repetition, I just hope that anyone else who has a furry friend that they call a best friend considers doing the tag and sharing it and tagging your other friends, just so we can celebrate those little critters that bring us so much joy and also a bit of a headache. Looking at you, Miss Snugglebug. So the other thing I wanted to tell you was that I picked out the audiobook that I'm going to start reading today. It was a toss-up for me between Sorcery of Thorns by Margaret Rogerson and Stalking Jack the Ripper by Carrie Maniscalco. Both of them were available right now to borrow from my library, so I've got both of those on loan at the moment, but I decided to go with Stalking Jack the Ripper first. I don't really have a reason why, but it's nice and short. I think it'll go by really quickly. I thought this would be fun and chilling to listen to on audiobook. I think I've heard people really enjoy the audiobooks for these, but that could be something else that I'm thinking about. I don't really know. The bookmark I'm using this time is this one from Creating & Co. that has bats coming out of a book, and on the back it's got a spooky tree and moon. And other than that, I read 32 pages, about 2 chapters in Well Met by Jen DeLuca last night, and I'm really enjoying this. I think that's going to fly by really fast. For those of you that don't know what Well Met is about, it's about a girl named Emily who has just come out of a relationship, not because she wanted to, and also lost her apartment. That happened just a little bit before she got a phone call from her mom that her older sister was in an accident and needs a live-in nurse for the time being. Her sister has a 14-year-old daughter, and the main thing that this centers around is the local Renaissance fair that I assume high school is putting on, and parents and kids are volunteering to be parts in the Renaissance fair to keep it going. So Emily, because her sister is obviously not able to volunteer for this and it's something her niece really wants to do, chooses to volunteer as a bar wench. And there's this guy named Simon who she's not clicking with too much, but I think from what I've heard is that outside of the Ren Fair, they are butting heads constantly and kind of at each other's throats. But once they get into character at the Ren Fair, they have this different dynamic in relationships. So I think it's going to be really sweet. And I'm just looking forward to seeing what it's about. Stalking Jack the Ripper is kind of a retelling of Jack the Ripper. The back, just this little paragraph here says, he murdered women in cold blood. He terrorized an entire city. He taunted those of us who hunted him down. But despite all the horrors, in the end, I could not deny it. I was the girl who loved the Ripper. So this is about a girl who I think she's a Victorian lady. She's got a different plan for herself than what she was groomed for. Loses her mom, but is determined to understand the nature of work and its workings. So she apprentices in forensics and gets drawn into the investigation for the serial killer Jack the Ripper. So that's all I'm gonna read there. I think this will be really interesting. I think a lot of people enjoyed this or enjoyed the concept of it, but I think the romance in it kind of overshadowed the rest of the plot. So it'll be interesting to see my thoughts on that. I think it's a quartet. Is that 4 books? I think so. There's 4 books though, and I've got the first 3. So if I like it, it's a series that I can just binge. And I think the next one is Hunting Prince Dracula. So that would be perfect for this time of year. So that's gonna be it, because I know the last clip and this clip together are going to be really long. It's my violin lesson tonight, so I'm probably not going to check in again today, but I might tomorrow if I make some good progress in my books. So when I have another update, you'll see my face again. So the power is out, and I think my violin teacher just texted to cancel my lesson because I let her know that our power was out here, and usually the town she's in is okay. But she says power is out, and I know where we live, the road we live off of, is really busy when the power's out because of the lights. And my mom just got home and she said it was already backing up pretty well. So I think we're going to cancel for today, which means Doggos and I are just going to wait it out till Sky gets home and then decide if we're going to go out to eat somewhere or forage in the kitchen for cold things. But one, I guess, fun fact thing about, you probably can't see the trees out there, it's too bright. But that arm that Ronan was just standing on, Aoife likes to launch herself from there into our laps in this chair, which is a bit of a jump, as you can see. But Ronan's currently doing his pacing thing. He might be done for just a second. But he was holding his toy in his mouth like I was telling you guys about earlier. And Aoife's just soaking up all the snuggles because she's pathetic, and that's pretty much all she's good for is snuggling, which is very cute, but also annoying because if I stop petting her, she gets mad. It's not enough for my hand to just sit there. It's actually got to be petting her. You're squishing my face there, girlfriend. Alright, I'm gonna try and read a bit of Well Met before Sky gets home. So, I will, I don't know, maybe not. I said I wasn't gonna check in anymore today. I probably won't check in anymore today, but we'll see. Who knows how this day is going. But we've got neighborhood patrol over there on the couch, scoping out the street, keeping everyone safe. And then this ragamuffin, who normally doesn't like her feet to be touched, is okay with me touching her paw right now, which is super weird. But anyway, I'm gonna go now and read while I've got some quiet time. I have some reading updates to give. So today I finished the audiobook of Stalking Jack the Ripper by Carrie Maniscalco, and I am giving this a 3-star rating. I thought it was fun and interesting. It was just a cute, I guess, little storyline. But I will say that I do get why some people weren't a fan of this due to the romance, because I do feel like the book centered just a bit more around the romance than it did actually hunting down Jack the Ripper and things like that. But I thought it was an interesting little kind of YA take on a historical fiction event surrounding Jack. And it's kind of perfect time of year to read this because a bulk of the book takes place in September of, 1888, like September, October, and November. So it's kind of perfect time of year for that. So because I finished my audiobook, I wanted to pick up another book, and I was debating what to pick up. So I think I'm going to work around my fall into reading challenge a little bit, because there's a couple books. I think this might be the 4th or 5th book I've read now since the beginning of September, that can work for the fall into reading challenge, but I didn't already have it slated for a prompt. So my idea this whole time has been to just kind of record those books, and then at the end of November, if I didn't get to a prompt or get to a book that I wanted to for a specific prompt, I could go through my list and see what books I read that I didn't allocate to a prompt could work for a prompt that I didn't get to the book for. But I think I want to rework it a little more. That way, I mean, I want to pick up the books I want to pick up, but I also want to complete the 24 challenges. So I think knowing where I'm standing and what books or prompts I need to aim more towards will help me a lot just to finish that out. So that's what I'm going to do here, probably this evening. But because I didn't have another audiobook, and I knew that I didn't have another classic that I kind of wanted to read this October, well, I kind of did. I had Frankenstein and Rebecca, but I figured Frankenstein's a little better for October, and Rebecca could be read like November or winter time, I felt like. So I picked up the audiobook of Frankenstein by Mary Shelley from my library. This is really short, really quick. I think it's 192 pages, so that shouldn't take too long. I typically like to listen to classics just because of the language. I think it's a little easier to listen to than to read. So that's going to go pretty well. I'm trying not to listen to it at too fast of a speed, just that way I can absorb the book a little better, just again because the language is different from how we speak now. And then my physical book that I have going right now is Well Met by Jen DeLuca. I have under 100 pages left in this, so I'm going to finish this tonight, and when I'm done with this, I'll actually give you my thoughts on this. And then I think I'm going to pick up The Witches by Roald Dahl. But that's kind of it for my reading, I think. I think maybe Sunday I'll give you an update on what prompts for the Fall into Reading Challenge I finished and what I have left, and what I'll be focusing on the rest of October and going into November. So the other thing about today, the reason I put on makeup is because my friend Eric at the channel Break-Even Books, who I talk about all the time, he recently has become monetized on YouTube. So he is doing a live stream tonight and invited me to be a part of that. So that's going to be at, doesn't matter because I will just leave that link down in the description box below in case you want to watch it. I think we're going to do kind of like a bookish would you rather sort of thing, or other sorts of games, but it's going to be at 8 p.m. Eastern, which is his time zone. So that's 5 p.m. Pacific for me. So here in a couple hours. So I'm going to do a little bit of work for my mother-in-law. I've already got the house cleaned. My neighbor is going to walk over here in a little bit because I did a Color Street party. She has started selling Color Street and she has some freebies to give me. And also I invited one of Skylar's coworkers to the party and she won a prize. So my neighbor is going to bring those over here and Sky can take his coworker her freebies on Monday to work. So that's the plan, to save my neighbor just a little bit of money in shipping and, you know, the hassle of going to the post office and things like that. But I'm going to get back to it. I need to update my planner now for finishing stocking Jack the Ripper, and like I said, do a little bit of work for my mother-in-law and just kind of get settled in. Sky will be home soon, so we'll be doing our regular catch-up, how'd your day go sort of thing when he gets here. So looking forward to seeing that guy, and yeah, just hanging out with some friends tonight, new friends for sure. I'll let you know how the live stream goes, and like I said again, I will leave it linked in the description box below. But I am gonna get to it and I'll check in when I've got another update. I finished Well Met by Jen DeLuca last night after the live stream for celebrating Eric's monetization on YouTube, and I gave it a 4-star rating overall. I really enjoyed this book. I thought it was very cute, a lot of fun. I liked the characters that we followed a lot. I did feel like there was a bit of miscommunication that I feel like at this age shouldn't have really been a thing. We've got Simon, who's 27, and Emily, who is 23 or 24 through this. And Emily has had a not very good streak of boyfriends. The last one left her pretty emotionally kind of lacking in confidence and things like that. So her interactions and like the building up of the relationship between her and Simon, there's a lot of things where she just misinterprets them and kind of goes into herself, and she's very like kind of hot and cold with Simon. Like one minute she'll be swooning over him and the next he'll say something that she misinterprets and is just really upset about it, which I don't know, I've never really been in a relationship like that. So, and I feel like I've always been a decent communicator, that I just couldn't really relate to what Emily was feeling and just like the thoughts she was going through and things like that. But I really liked the characters in this. I thought they were they developed really well, and they were just written pretty well. My favorite part was the setting, though, being set at the Ren Fair. I thought that was so much fun, and it really, really makes me want to attend a Ren Fair, even though I know those aren't really going right now. But as soon as things like that start back up, I know that's something that Skylar would go with me too. That's it. So I think that would be something really fun for us to do. Just kind of, he probably wouldn't get in costume, but I would totally get in costume, and just walk around and see the shows and things like that. So really enjoyed this book. I'm so glad and so thankful that Eric sent it to me for my birthday, and that I was able to pick it up within a couple months of receiving it, because I really enjoyed it. I do want to read Well Played, which is the second book in this series. It follows different characters though, but I've heard people didn't care for it as much as this. I think it still follows Stacy, who is the other bar wench in this book, who I liked. I didn't really care for her character all that much, but I think it would be interesting to kind of see her side of the story. I'm also listening to Frankenstein still. I'm about 4 chapters into that now, going well. Just kind of, we're getting to know the young Dr. Frankenstein and kind of how he learned, and eventually turned into the man who created the Frankenstein monster. So enjoying that. We had some time up in the hills with some friends today, shooting guns and stuff, doing target practice, and that was a lot of fun just to get out. We went a little east and got out of the rain that was in our town, and it was just nice to be in the fresh air, kind of get a little bit of exercise in, and get to see people who we haven't seen in a couple months. So that was really nice. Right now I'm studying. I'm listening to some recorded cohorts. I've got 2 to listen to tonight. I just finished one, and then I figured I would take a break to film this clip so that I can give my brain a little bit of a rest, and then I'm going to watch the other. And when I'm done with that, Sky and I are going to watch a crap ton of X-Files, because that's what we want to do. Just snuggle up on the couch. It's not raining right now. It is overcast though. I can hear he's got the pellet stove turned on. I've got my electric blankie, which I don't have turned on, but I always have a heating pad back here just to keep my back warm. Yeah, other than that, the live stream went really well last night. It was a lot of fun. I was nervous at first being on a live stream with people that I didn't know, but I ended up really liking them, and it was fun. Eric had planned for us 3 different activities. The first one was a bookish Would You Rather. Then we did a first sentence, name the book title challenge, and then Eric drew book covers and we had to guess what they were. And then there were also a lot of people that joined in the live stream in the comments, and they were asking us for like book recommendations and other kind of questions and things like that. So that was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed that. Like I said yesterday, I will leave the link to that live stream in the description box below if you want to check it out. But yeah, that's about enough of a break for me. I'm gonna go ahead and get into my next cohort, but I think I'm gonna go grab a carrot first, which is super random. But yeah, I'm gonna go grab a carrot and listen to my next cohort, and then I'll be back with you tomorrow to wrap up this vlog and my reading for the week. I don't have much of an update for today, so I'm gonna go ahead and close the vlog off here. I have still been reading Frankenstein by Mary Shelley, which is great because next week starts the Read in Peace readathon, which was created by Paige over at Paige Nicole, who is the shop owner of the Creating & Co. Planner sticker shop, as well as the book club group that I mentioned multiple times on this channel. But we do a weekly readathon every other month, and next week is our October readathon. So I'm really looking forward to that. I know there's a creature feature and a something else that's similar to the creature feature but slightly different prompt. And I think Frankenstein will work perfectly for that. So that'll be great to roll into next week. That's the only book I have to roll in. The only other book I'm currently reading right now, I've been slowly reading since I got it, which I don't think I've told you about, but it's the Curly Girl Handbook, which is basically just how you're supposed to treat curly hair to make it do its curly thing. So that's what I've been trying out. I need to get some more reading in that done, but I haven't picked up my next physical read. I'm not sure if I'm going to do that tonight or if I'm just going to wait till next week. I think it might be next week. I'm pretty sure I'm going to pick up The Witches by Roald Dahl first. So that's the reading plans. Just have, I guess 2 books technically to carry over into next week. I'm only counting one of them though because the Curly Girl Handbook is just an ongoing read for me. But yeah, 1 book to carry over into next week, and also tomorrow starts a readathon, which I'm really excited about. I did take a test today for my accounting degree. I was working in project management and passed that course. So now on to business law for accountants, and I now have 11 courses left to get my degree, so hoping that'll go really quickly here. Keep kicking my butt into gear, but other than that, I think the rest of today, it's only 1:30. Sky and I are going to maybe play a game or 2 of Magic and watch some X-Files and stuff like that. So just kind of be lazy because it's a dreary, drizzly day, so not a lot of outside stuff to do. I'm glad we got a break in the day yesterday to be able to get out and about, but that's not really the case today. So yeah, this is where I'm gonna leave it. As always, I would just love to know what you read throughout the week. I think my favorite book was Well Met by Jen DeLuca, and I would love to hear your thoughts if you've read that book, because I really enjoyed it. And if you've read Well Played yet, I'd really love to know thoughts on that. I'm still gonna read it regardless, but it'd be interesting to hear different people's thoughts on it. But yes, just please let me know all the things that you want down in the comments below, and I'll chat with you there until my next video. Bye!